This episode is presented by So Delicious Dairy Free. We listen to music to free our minds, but are you ready to dairy free your mind? This summer, discover So Delicious Dairy Free frozen desserts. With so many next level flavors that are 100% dairy free and unbelievably creamy, your taste buds will do a double take as you figure out your ultimate flavor. Is it salted caramel cluster or chocolate cookies and cream, cookie dough or coconut vanilla bean, or even mint chip or the classic vanilla? Find out at sodeliciousdairyfree.com. Welcome everyone to Last Song Standing. I'm Cuchna.
And I'm Charles Holmes. And in this fourth season of Last Song Standing, Cole and I are debating our way through some of the best albums of the past 25 years in order to crown the greatest album of the 21st century so far, aka the last album standing.
Last episode, The Blueprint by Jay-Z went up against Beyonce's Lemonade, and I am so happy to say we chose it right. Lemonade came out as victorious. Today, two more classic albums going head to head, Charles, but before we get there, you're taking this loss pretty hard.
No, it's not a loss.
And this is not acting. We have been talking about this off camera since the end of the last episode. You are so pissed.
The election was fucking rigged. I want a fucking recount. You know what I mean? It's just, I see how it is. I will say, if my album today loses, we're canceling the season. No, I can't do it.
My album has a legitimate shot.
No, it's not.
On paper.
No, it does not.
On paper, it seems like two different weight classes, but come on, let's reveal our albums.
So my album for today is Eminem's third studio album, the Marshall Mathers LP, an album that some consider the greatest rap album of all time.
Calm down.
Your album is by a little known artist that people don't really give a shit about. Who can you reveal?
I'm doing the cult classic, the indie darling, the modern, the Wes Anderson of hip hop. I'm doing Tyler the Creator's Igor.
Cause you make my earthquake. I don't want no confrontation, no. You don't want my conversation.
Like a head trip to listen to, cause I'm only giving you things you joke about with your friends inside your living room. The only difference is I got the balls to say it in front of y'all, and I don't gotta be false.
Hey yo, take one look in the mirror, implications so clear. I live life with no fear, except for the idea that one day you won't be here.
I read about your Uncle Ronnie too, I'm sorry. I had a friend kill himself over some bitch who didn't want him. I know you probably hear this.
The thing about Marshall Mathers LP is that it's had time to,
Yes.
It's had its moment. It's a little bit harder to judge recent albums, but Igor, maybe you're just not in the demo or the age group, but this album is like revered. It is a gem for a certain.
Fuck with this album.
I know you do. You're playing the part a little bit.
I will just say, the Wes Anderson of hip hop kind of seems like a diss, if we're being real.
Wait, really?
Yes.
You don't like Wes Anderson? Okay, let's move on.
You like Wes Anderson? I like Wes
on.
Anderson. It's just, it's a little too much. It's a little like, I'm like, all right, man, we get it.
Right.
We get it,
Okay.
All
right. Should we go into rules
the rules
and structures? Because I'm very excited to get into Marshall Mathers. But before we do that, let's recap the rules and the premise of the show. Remember, every episode, Charles and I are each nominating one album that we think should be in contention for the 21st century's best. Each album gets its own half of the episode, where we'll make a case for why it's one of the best albums of the past 25 years. Then, at the end of the episode, the two albums will go head to head, and Charles and I will debate until we can agree on one winner.
The winning album from each episode advances to the season finale Royal Rumble. That's where Cole and I will face off one last time, eliminating albums one by one until we can crown the greatest album of the 21st century, aka the last album standing. Cole, we've already revealed which albums we're doing today, but let's talk very, very briefly about why we picked Eminem and Tyler for this episode, because we made a late stage change. Yeah. Originally, this episode was supposed to be Igor versus Doom and Madlib's Mad Villainy. And then we kind of had a change of heart a little bit.
Yeah, I think on face value, the pairing doesn't make as much sense as a Doom and Mad Villain, because you can kind of draw a direct line between those two artists. But once you understand Tyler a little bit more and you start looking a little bit closer at the trajectory of his career, like it's very much influenced by Eminem. He has been on record saying Eminem taught him how to rap.
Yeah.
And I think the interesting thing about the two artists together and grouping them together in this way is that the evolution of Tyler versus the evolution of Eminem, I feel like presents an interesting dichotomy in terms of these two artists and their career trajectories, where I think Eminem was never able to evolve past a certain point, where Tyler kind of was able to transcend some of his earlier work and continues to grow as an artist in a way that I don't think Eminem ever quite did. Am I wrong to say that?
No, I agree so much. I think what I believe I said to you and Justin yesterday is, to me, in the beginning of Tyler's career, I feel like he leaned more into the horrorcore shock tactics of an Eminem. You could tell he was of a piece of that lineage, but undergirding all of that was his love of Pharrell, the Neptunes, Clips, and I think in the later stages of Tyler's career, he more so went off in the Pharrell. He leaned more into the Pharrell trajectory. And I think the reason that I wanted to pair Igor with Marshall Mathers is both of these to me are the pinnacle of these artists as pop stars, where Igor to me is when Tyler, the Creator, finally married it all together, when he's finally taking on so much of the singing, so much of the melody, letting the music breathe. And I think Marshall Mathers is, it's weird to say this because it's still so early in Eminem's career, but it's kind of like the beginning of the end of, in terms of what I liked about him as an artist. I think each project is diminishing returns, where Eminem show's still pretty, like, really good. It has great standout moments. Encore has less moments. Yeah. And the more and more you go down the line, I'm like, to your point, Eminem never really, almost Eminem crystallizes in time, in amber almost, where he's almost chasing the highs of Slim Shady and Marshall Mathers, where to me, Tyler, the Creator, with each record is creating in its own era. Tyler, the Creator, to me, almost refuses to be pinned down to one era or one time.
Yeah. And each project presents a new sound, a new vision, a new world in a way that, you know, to contrast it with Eminem's most recent project is essentially a callback to his first project. And he seems to kind of just be recreating the same wheel. So I want to do my best to honor Eminem. It's really easy to critique, but I'm going to do my best. And like the same way we presented Drake in episode 1, I want to give him his flowers.
Wait, so am I going first this episode? I went first last episode.
Yeah, but we got to start with M.
We have to start with M?
I think so.
All right, album facts for the Marshall Mathers LP. It was released on May 23rd, 2000. It's Eminem's third studio album. It features appearances from Snoop Dogg, Nate Dogg, D12, Exhibit, Dido, among others. Production on the album is mainly handled by Dr. Dre, Eminem, and the Bass Brothers. The Marshall Mathers LP spawned 6 singles: The Real Slim Shady, The Way I Am, Stan, I'm Back, Kill You, and Bitch Please 2. The Marshall Mathers LP sold like gangbusters. It sold 1.78 million copies in its first week, debuting at #1 on the Billboard 200. It is certified diamond by the RIAA. And really quick, I want to pull up something to show you like how well this thing sold. So I'm on Wikipedia right now.
1.7 in first week is insane.
1.78 million. And then the Marshall Mathers LP sold over 800,000 copies in its second week. Third week, 600,000.
Oh my God.
Fourth week, 520,000. Like, sometimes I think we forget, like, of course Eminem was massive, but when I was going back through how massive this album was, I was just like, oh, I can kind of understand how this kind of curdles his mind a little bit in terms of just like, how can any human handle that level of ubiquity and popularity?
Yeah, I remember. I mean, you're probably too young to remember this coming out, or do you remember the release date?
Oh, no. Not only do I remember this, I remember Slim Shady.
Okay.
I remember the Liz Cheney shit.
Okay.
The destroying the album shit.
Yeah.
Like because here's the thing. I was living with my grandparents at the time, and my grandparents were super fucking news pilled.
Okay.
And it was just like, it felt like whenever the news needed, like it was a slow news day and they needed like a bear to poke,
Right.
it was always Eminem and Columbine,
Right.
Eminem and Glad, the Grammy performance.
Yeah.
I vividly remember so much of this album.
Yeah, I remember staying up. My local radio station premiered the album in full at midnight on the night it dropped, and I remember staying up and I recorded on cassette from the radio the whole album, and then I just listened to it. Like I was like in deep. But it's interesting returning to the album now because this is not something I put on regularly at all, and it's like essentially like every song is about like his relationship with the public and him like getting in trouble for saying certain things. And it feels heavy-handed until you remember this was a big deal. Like in terms of like the pushback he was getting from, well, is essentially like Columbine sparks this kind of national debate and he becomes this scapegoat for like the youth's turmoil. And he's getting dumped on by the vice president's wife, by senators, the Walmart refuses to stock his albums. Like there's all this censorship put on his shoulders. I remember Marilyn Manson kind of getting the same thing where it was like the media was looking for scapegoats. And to your point, the mixture of that kind of backlash put on this guy from Detroit that just wants to rap and this like a pop star, like near like a Britney Spears level fame and popularity put on this guy it's an incredible weight. And everything in his career kind of makes sense from this moment on in terms of like the difficulties of him trying to navigate those dynamics, which feel, to your point, impossible, like absolutely impossible. But
I mean, you know what's funny? In this exercise, to your point, when I was listening to how much of this was about fame, I was like, oh, this reminds me of Take Care in a way, not sonically, but in terms of just like an artist becoming so famous so fast. And then their music pivots from being about their personal life before fame to almost everything becoming about, it's not just him being famous in terms of like, the government's mad at me or moms are mad at me. My family's mad at me. I fucking hate Kim.
Right.
Everything about my life has changed. I was just like, oh, this is kind of I think artists have always done that. Hey, my second, third album is going to be the fame album.
Right.
I think this is when it becomes like an industrial complex, when it's like, is all pop music just about how much fame?
Right. Right. All right. So you ready for Eminem trivia?
Oh, of course.
Trivia. You've been very hard on me. I don't think I even have a single point yet this season. So,
now I'm really scared.
So I went a little bit harder this time. We'll see. We'll see. How many questions did you get from me?
I gave you 2.
2. Okay, I'll get you 2 here. All right, first question. Which track on the Marshall Mathers LP had its original third verse accidentally erased by a studio engineer, forcing Eminem to re-record it?
Easy, Stan.
I thought I was going to give you
research. I'm in these streets. Oh, I researched.
How pissed do you think Eminem was?
Oh, I cannot.
On that song especially?
I mean, it's also funny. What did he say that the engineer said? He was just like, oh, my bad.
Well, like he was supposed to just punch in the last couple of lines and then he recorded over the entire thing. And Eminem claims the original performance was better than the one that we heard now.
Which is crazy because I think Stan isn't my favorite Eminem song, but I think it's one of his best performances.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, question number 2. On the clean version of the album, the song Kim is removed completely and replaced by another song that is not on the explicit version at all. What is the name of this song? I got you.
Oh, this
I
is
got
good.
you.
You got me.
I can tell.
I don't know.
It's called The Kids. It's a South Park themed track. Do you want to hear just like a little bit of it?
I don't think I've ever heard this song.
If I did, I don't remember it at all until this.
Justin, you are, as our resident white rapper expert, have you heard this song before?
Oh, God. Yeah, I'm familiar with the song.
Okay.
I'm familiar with it.
I'm gonna knock it off because he's crazy and off his rocker. Crazy good as Slim Shady is off the blocker. You couldn't even take him to Dre's to give Bob a doctor.
Kim is better.
It's whatever. It's whatever. It's, you know.
Wait, what's the third? This no points for this. What's the third question?
Okay.
No points.
No points.
Just
Okay.
for the game. Just for the love.
Which track on the Marshall Mathers LP did Eminem write in one sitting while high on ecstasy?
Kim.
We must be reading the same websites.
Come on. Come on.
This one is super easy. You're going to get this one for sure. Which song on the Marshall Mathers LP was a last-minute addition recorded just hours before the album's final deadline?
The Real Slim Shady.
Yeah, which is crazy. We'll talk about that.
Insane.
That song's good.
That song's really
actually good.
I forgot how good.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into categories.
Let's get into the
So
categories.
you got 1 point. 1 point for the
1 point on the board.
trivia.
Hell
Okay.
yeah. All right, so for those who have forgotten, our categories for this season is biggest song, best song, worst song, deep cut, best moment, and biggest song, obviously, The Real Slim Shady.
Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? We're gonna have a problem here. Y'all act like you never seen a white person before. Jaws all on the floor like Pam, like Tommy just burst in the door and started whooping her ass worse than before.
Produced by Dr. Dre and Mailman. The song is certified 7 times platinum and peaked at number 4 on the Billboard 100. What's actually interesting to me when I was doing research for this is how many of the songs off this album were super massive but never went number 1 on Billboard.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know if a single song off this went number 1, at least while this album was in the cultural consciousness. And what I think is interesting about this is that The Real Slim Shady is a perfect hip hop song. But I think the gift and the curse of this record is that Eminem would essentially, his whole career would follow the same blueprint.
Yeah.
Where he would do My Name Is, then it's The Real Slim Shady, then we have Without Me, Just Lose It. Those like goofy introductory records. And I think they progressively get, like, if it's My Name and then the peak is probably The Real Slim Shady, I think there's diminishing returns with each and every single one. And almost, it's not just the goofy records. Like, if you think about the arc of Eminem's career, it's like he'll have his Celebrity Sucks song, The Way I Am, Cleaning Out My Closet, Stand. He'll have like the schmaltzy like pop record, Sing for the Moment, Love the Way You Lie, Mockingbird.
Right.
And it was funny where I'm like, oh, is The Real Slim Shady, is that the moment where Eminem almost can't escape what makes him? Because when I was doing research for this, Eminem was very, very clear where it was like the label kept kind of being like, all right, how are you going to top My Name Is? How are you going to top My Name Is? And part of me was like, why does he always need to make a corny record? The Real Slim Shady is corny. I love this record. It's still good, but there is a level where I'm like, this not the greatest thing that M does for me. What's your opinion?
Well, that's kind of one of the confusing things about M's career. I don't actually know I know he wants to rap, and I know he wants to be a flawless technician of the craft. That seems to be his biggest passion.
Yeah.
Yet, when you go through the arc of his career, to your point, he does have these formula songs that he keeps returning to. I don't know if it feels like he's obligated to do those types of songs, but like we've never gotten like the Alchemist Eminem mixtape style, just like no hooks, just rap.
Yeah.
Like that. I think that's what every Eminem fan wants at this point is like, don't try to recreate your first album or your first 2 albums again 25 years later. Like we've had like 12 albums so like that sound in that same world, just a few degrees away from each other. I feel like what we've never gotten from him as an artist is a clear progression. It seems just like he's running on the same hamster wheel, and I don't know. It's a little bit frustrating. But to your point about let's honor Real Slim Shady though, because this song is great.
It has one of the greatest opening lines of a verse. Y'all act like you've never seen a white person before. I laugh every single time. It's so fucking good. Even just like I remember how iconic the music video was. Yeah. I remember the VMA performance where I do think that VMA performance when all the clones of Eminem walk out is still one of the greatest performances of all time. Yeah. I think also this song is when Eminem just gets super, super good at creating the character. Like, obviously, Slim Shady is something that he creates on his previous album, but this is when I was just like, oh, you know exactly what makes this funny. You know exactly what makes this iconic. Later, you're probably going to talk about how, to me, the real Slim Shady inspires and the performance and the icon of all of that inspires Igor in a lot
Igor's
of ways.
Grammy performance is a nod to this Slim Shady, which is like ingrained in my mind. I can see that performance.
Yeah.
It's one of those cultural moments that I think it will live on. And I forgot how good he's rapping on the third verse. That third verse is so
good.
At the rate I'm going when I'm 30, I'll be the only person in a nursing home flirting. Pinching nurses' asses when I'm jacking off of Jergens and I'm jerking, but this whole bag of Viagra isn't working. And every single person is a Slim Shady lurking. He could be working at Burger King, spitting on your onion rings.
All the internal stuff like he's doing, and it makes sense that this song was written fast because it doesn't feel like overthought.
Yes.
They got a catchy hook, and he was able to I forgot how great the rapping was on this song. And I think it's good to point out now, like Justin said something yesterday that really helped me like crystallize what works with Eminem and what doesn't. So I don't want to take credit for the take because it was actually your partner's take. So do you want to lay that out?
Yeah, I can't take credit for
the skeleton key.
The skeleton key to unlocking Eminem is he's at his best when he's just being a silly little guy. And it's the reason why a song like Rap God, or on this record, I think the song that kind of shows some of the worst ways in which he progressed, which is The Way I Am, which I think is a good song on a lot of levels, but kind of shows the things that I don't like a lot about Eminem, which is a super serious, like, I'm mad, I hate being famous, and I'm also like, as a rapper, I'm like, like just focused on this super precise metronome like ability to flip syllables and rhyme schemes, and it is like a marvel to behold when he can do that, but it's also so grating and sometimes just so boring. And on a song like The Real Slim Shady, he's that silly little guy. All over this record, he's a silly little guy. And this is the last time where, like, over in the subsequent records, that balance kind of tips a little bit.
Yeah.
But this was the last time he was mostly that guy. And he's looser and still rapping, like, incredible, doing things that other human beings just cannot do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think for a lot of it for me, too, is the production. When when the production's a little goofy, it adds this cartoonish element that balances out the violence and the vulgarity, which is fine, but there's a playfulness to it. It adds a playfulness to it, to where when he's doing that on songs where the production is also very serious, it's just a little too much. Kim being the most egregious.
Like, you immediately, it snaps you like, all right, we don't have to be too serious. We can unclench. I mean, there's also, if we're talking about the goofy moments, like what other rapper can, when he does the feminist women love Eminem, chicka chicka Slim Shady, I'm sick of him. It's so like, for any other rapper, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. But Eminem is so good at putting in almost these, like I like to call them like micro moments or like micro hooks, where to me, sometimes the verses are just as catchy or have moments that are just as catchy as the hook. And this song is also showing like Eminem was so good at writing hooks in a way where most rappers, like he's coming up at a time. Obviously, you've all watched 8 Mile, but he is in ciphers, freestyles, and the knock against a lot of those rappers a lot of times is they're so bad at song structure. They're so bad at choruses and bridges and all these things. Eminem was never a problem with him. Actually, I think that's one of his biggest assets. He can make a song like Stan, or he can make a song like The Real Slim Shady, where you're like, oh, this functions as a very, very, very good song. And he's the rare rapper where I think a lot of times rappers get lazy and they're like, all right, put 2 verses, we're done. Eminem is like, nah, I'm giving you 3
every song on his record.
And they're all of the verses. I'm like, damn, all of these verses are fucking good.
It's crazy too, actually, listening to the Blueprint and this back to back, how popular like the hook with your name in it was at this time. Like all the like catchy songs on this record all have his name in it somehow.
Yep.
Like some introductory, whether it's Marshall Mathers or Slim Shady or whatever. But then Jay-Z has like 5 songs on the Blueprint that are some kind of name flip. And then you had like Snoop Dogg doing the same thing at this time. You know, all his hooks were something with his name spelled out or whatever.
Well, that to me is also just like a carryover from classic hip hop.
Right.
When it's like you had 5 rappers in the group and like rappers had to be like, I gotta put my name on this because y'all are not gonna know who else I am, you know?
Yeah.
But if we move on to best song, this was an easy pick to me.
Oh, really?
This was an easy pick. It was always going to be my pick.
Okay.
Kill You, produced by Dr. Dre and Mailman, originally released as a promotional single. I think that this song is what the real Slim Shady should have been. I think that he made it thinking like, this is the best song. Let's roll this out.
Chainsaw, left his brains all dangling from his neck while his head barely hangs on. Blood, guts, guns, cuts, knives, lies, wives, nuns, sluts. Bitch, I'ma kill you. You don't wanna fuck with me. Girls need you ain't nothing but a slut to me. Bitch, I'ma kill you. You ain't got the balls to beef.
This song never veers kind of into like the corniness that real Slim Shady does. Or
it has a touch of it because the production's a little bit quirky, just a little bit. Yeah.
But not overly.
Exactly.
And I love the real Slim Shady. I can tell, like, if you put both songs next to each other, I can tell why the real Slim Shady was the hit and Kill You wasn't.
Right, yeah.
But this is, in my heart, I think it's the best rapping he's doing on the entire album. What he said about it in the book Angry Blonde, quote, I wanted to start the album with that song because everybody in the press was like, what's he going to rap about? He's not miserable anymore. He can't rap about being broke no more. He can't rhyme about his pain and his misery because he got money. The whole idea of this song was to say some of the most fucked up shit just to let people know that I'm back, that I didn't lose it, that I wasn't compromising nothing, and I didn't change. If anything, I got worse. Which, yes, when you listen to Kim, which we will get to, he got a lot fucking worse.
Yeah.
I love Kill You. Before I continue, I feel like you're surprised that I went with this.
It's just not, I guess it's not the obvious pick, but it's kind of my pick too, if I were forced. But it's like, I forgot how good Criminal was.
Yeah.
Criminal is so good. It's almost like it's in a similar vein where it has the quirky element, but it's not over the top. It has the great skit in the middle where he goes to rob the girl, and a lot of the skits on this are pretty funny.
Hot take. I hate skits. I fucking hate skits. Yeah. Most albums I knock off a half point just for you putting skits and wasting my time. I will say, going back to this, the skits on this are actually funny.
They're pretty funny.
Like the Steve Berman skit is funny.
Eminem's legitimately funny.
Yes.
Except for the Ken Kniff one.
Oh, that one was tough. Yeah. But back to Kill You.
Yeah.
Love this hook. When I was just a little baby boy, my mama used to tell me these crazy things.
It's so good.
It's so fucking dope. The closing moments of verse 1, I love. I invented violence, you vile venom is violent, vicious vein by getting rin.
Yeah, such a good, again, a moment only Eminem could
It's once, and then he does the Texas Chainsaw, left his brains all dangling from his neck while his head barely hangs on. Blood, guts, knives, lives, wives, nuns, sluts.
The whole first verse. Here's my favorite part. When he says, he does a 3-syllable scheme throughout this whole thing. He says, you know why I say these things? Because ladies scream, keep creeping in Shady's dreams, and the way things seem, I shouldn't have to pay these shrinks, these 80 G's a week to say the same things twice, whatever. I hate these things.
It's
the tweets is so funny. Wait, he's so stuck on the syllable rhyming perfectly.
Know why I say these things? Cause lady screams, keep creeping in Shady's dreams, and the way things seem, I shouldn't have to pay these shrinks. It's 80 G's a week to say the same things twice. Whatever, I hate these
Here's the thing. I love when rappers do that. I love when rappers mispronounce the word on purpose and then pronounce it correctly. Lil Wayne has so many lines that are just that. Yeah. It is my favorite when rappers do it because it's so fucking dumb. Bitch, I'ma kill you. You don't want to vote with me? Girl, you ain't nothing but a slut to me. It's so good.
I've never heard your voice like that, Charles. Jesus Christ.
I love Kill You. It was the only choice for me on this record. As Justin, is this a crazy take?
So, okay, I'm just trying to think of what else could be in the running. So Cole mentioned Criminal. I'm going through the track list right now.
I think a lot of people were like, why wouldn't you pick Stan?
Stan is one that I was going to say, and then I have another one after that.
I mean, fan choice would be The Way I Am too.
Would be which one?
The Way I Am.
Once again, I think kind of, if The Way I Am was the only song in Eminem's career who was like that, going off what Justin just said, I'd be fine with it. The fact that we've gotten 5 of those songs makes me like, I kept skipping The Way I Am like the entire time. I was like,
I remember liking it a lot when I was a kid.
It's a bad hang. The Way I Am is a bad hang of a song.
It is. Yeah. It is. All right. So worst song. My honorable mention is Kim.
Honorable mention?
My honorable mention is
That's not the worst song? Or is it so clearly the worst song?
It's so clearly the worst song.
Don't make me wake this baby. She don't need to see what I'm about to do. Quit crying, bitch. Why you always make me shout at you? How could you?
I don't want to do the thing where it's like, we've grown as a culture, because I do. Kim to me was one of those records at the time that I do remember, like people being like, oh my gosh, not only how could he say it, but actually it's so brave and blah, blah, blah. And it's just, there's been more ink spilled about Kim than, and I do think, if I'm going to be honest, there is an artistry to it.
Yeah.
If you're taking Eminem,
it's a piece of theater
as like a horror director almost, where it's like, I'm not watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and being like clutching my pearls.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's coming from a lineage of horrorcore. I'm just like, so that's why I'm also like, what he does on Kim, he does it well. It's just a song I never want to talk about or ever listen to.
You know what I thought about when I thought I was listening to Kim is We Cry Together.
Is what?
We Cry Together, the Kendrick.
Yes.
It's like the same theater, the same kind of song concept, and a song that you just don't want to listen to.
Just don't want to listen to. But when you're just like,
but you can respect it. Like
you can respect it. And also, I think sneakily, probably Kendrick is a huge fan of a song like him. Like he's probably like, yeah, I can imagine like a younger Kendrick being like, oh fuck yeah, like the storytelling, the voices, everything. The real worst song to me is Remember Me.
This is the correct pick.
Remember me, Seven Execution. Remember me, I have no.
Remember Me. I hate the hook. I hate everything about this.
The features, no disrespect.
No disrespect. But what's
interesting about the features is it really shows you how good of a rapper Eminem is in the way that all the features, or a lot of the features on this record, they're all trying to do the horrorcore rap, and it's all shock value, and there's like very little skill in the rapping. And Eminem is saying similar things, but he's just so great of a rapper that it's easier to stomach. Where you kind of the warts are a little bit are very present in the horrorcore approach. If you don't have the skills, if you're just relying on shock value, it's just a song like "Remember Me" exposes just
remember me. It's just all right. Get the fuck out of here. It's just get this Sunday afternoon fucking neighborhood theater shit out of my face.
You guys are gonna do that to Sticky Fingers? Like, I'm serious. This is not a bit. You're gonna do. Have you guys?
I like Sticky Fingers got some shit off on this. I'm not gonna lie. It's just not my shit. You like this song, Justin?
You like this song?
I don't love this song. I think that a song like Amityville is probably in the running, or Under the Influence, the D12 stuff, is probably more in the running for worst song to me than this, because those songs are kind of forgettable. Remember Me, I think that Eminem verse is great. It's a little Columbine heavy, but I do think it's a great verse. And I think Sticky kills this. RBX has just never been like a great traditional rapper. I don't know. That's fine. If you want to go Remember Me.
Amityville was in the running. Amityville, if it wasn't Remember Me, it was either going to be Amityville. Yeah, because I actually don't think Under the Influence, the D12 song is that bad, actually. I think D12 are the rappers that, like, to me, can hang with M the most, just because they're all coming from Detroit.
Right.
They have similar leanings, similar influences. Bitch Please 2 is bad.
You know what song is it's not a bad song, Bitch Please 2? It just felt like the renegade of the album.
Yeah.
Where I was like, this is a Dr. Dre song that was kind of just put on.
I just also don't think like Snoop Dogg, Nate Dogg, Exhibit have chemistry with Eminem. And I also think that that's really, to me, the interesting thing about this album is that it's hard for anyone to have chemistry with Eminem because he steals the spotlight to such a degree that I feel like when another rapper hops on a track with him, it's almost like they're trying to compete with him in a way where I'm just like, Eminem creates such a world around his music. I think also Tyler, the Creator, is very similar, that sometimes it's hard for them to step back and not be this bright light casting a shadow over everything.
That's fair.
And also, really quick, my other take, Eminem, I think, has one of the best voices in hip hop.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is he can do so much with his instrument, whether he's doing the angry, guttural, oh my God, my life is so terrible.
Right.
He has kind of the cartoonish voice where he's rapping like he's a woman, or even just when he's like melodically, like this is he's almost a proto 50 Cent in a way, where obviously he ends up signing 50, but a lot of these hooks have a sing-song quality about them. And the thing that I think makes Eminem such a star at that time is, as much as he's criticizing NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, I'm like, you kind of are like that.
Yeah.
Your ear for melody, your ear for hooks, your ears for making something like that could just punch out of the TRL screen.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're doing the same thing.
You don't sell 1.7 million copies without that skill set. There is a certain melodic skill set that you have to make songs that are that appealing to that many people. So you're 100% right. Like technically he's like, he's a great melodist. He has a great ear for all of that. But to your point, Kendrick is very transparent about Eminem being a heavy influence on him. And I think a lot of it is the voice work, is manipulating your voice at like an instrument, playing different characters. I think you can draw a direct through line from Eminem's that kind of same voice work to what Kendrick is now doing. Curious to know though, your deep cut.
You guys are gonna kill me for this. Can you guess what my deep cut is gonna be? It's a very Charles pick.
Is it? It's not I'm Back.
No.
It should be Criminal. Is Criminal a deep cut?
It's not Criminal.
What is it?
Marshall Mathers.
I never knew I never knew I never knew I would get this big. Never. What other this kid never.
I like this song.
These motherfuckers hit the ceiling. I don't do black music. I don't do white music. I make fight music for high school kids. Put lives at risk when I drive like this. I put wives at risk with a knife like this. Shit, you probably think I'm in your tape deck.
And also one of my mini gripes is that I think Marshall Mathers, Who Knew, Real Slim Shady all have a little shades of like My Name Is, where they're very, very catchy. They're to your point, it's either he's reintroducing himself with his name, or the thing that I like about this song is the thing that grinds Eminem's gears at this point, and what I think makes this album so good, is that Eminem is so mad at the hypocrisy that's happening. He's so mad at, and I remember this moment in American history where he's like, all right, Bill Clinton's getting his dick sucked in the White House, and y'all mad at fucking me? You know what I mean? It's just, and it's, he's right, or it's,
that was my note on this song, was like, this is the best argument. Like this, like with that line, you want me to fix up lyrics while a president gets his dick sucked, and then the next verse he says, So who's bringing the guns in this country? I couldn't sneak a plastic pellet gun through customs over in London. And last week I saw this Schwarzenegger movie where he's shooting all sorts of these motherfuckers with an Uzi.
Yeah.
Like, that's interesting to me. That is like, this is, I think, in terms of his pushback against, you know, the public and the media and politicians, like, this is the best argument for himself, pointing out the hypocrisy, as you're saying.
And when I go back to Eminem and I think about the arc of his career, I like songs like Who Knew, but when he still had a sense of humor about this stuff in the hypocrisy, where I feel like in subsequent records, that hatred almost like curdles, where I'm like, all right, you're bitching about everything now.
Right.
Where the people that Eminem, it always felt like Eminem was punching up at people, where it's like, no, NSYNC is corny and all this music is corny, and this is where it's just like nothing Eminem said about NSYNC was going to stop their dominance.
Right.
Where it's like if I'm remembering correctly, on one of his new albums, he had kind of like this weird line about Megan Thee Stallion, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why? Like, here's the thing. Was he an asshole for making fun of Christopher Reeves? Yes. At the end of the day, is it just a joke? Also, yes.
Yeah.
Versus like Megan Thee Stallion, I'm just like, if I'm gonna be real, I'm like, Eminem, you're still a visitor in hip hop. You're still like a white man in a black art form. Motherfucker, you can't say that shit. I mean, you can, but I'm gonna call you out, be like, hey, yo, that's fuck off. So Who Knew to me is still when
he's
he had
punching
a
up.
sense of humor about this shit.
Punching up and a sense of humor. I get that.
And I, not going back to the Clinton line, but one of my favorite parts from this song is the closing of verse 1 when he says, You want me to fix up lyrics while the president gets his dick sucked? Fuck that. Take drugs, rape sluts, make fun of gay clubs, men who wear, wake up, get aware, wake up, get a sense of humor. It's just the eternal rhyme of him rhyming the fix up, rape sluts, make up, wake up, and then contrasting that with the take drugs, gay clubs, and forcing those rhymes together. Yeah. And what I think is also so cool about it is, if you break it down, because I was highlighting, a lot of rappers, when they're trying to force those rhymes, are going to have the rhyme ending it, where it's like with fix up, it's in the middle, wake up is in the middle, and then rape sluts and make up is at the end. So he's very, very good at not forcing the rhyme to always end at the line. Like, he's very, very good at mixing it up, so your ear is always trying to catch where it's happening. Yeah,
it's funny that you point that out, because in the line I read earlier, I wrote the master of the forced rhyme, or the slant rhyme, where he says, and last week I seen this Schwarzenegger movie where he's shooting all sorts of these motherfuckers with an Uzi. So it's like, it sounds like it rhymes, and he's rhyming Schwarzenegger movie, Schwartz. Yeah. So he's sneaking in internals. The whole thing doesn't match syllable for syllable, but your ear just registers it as this multisyllabic rhyme. He's so good at forcing things that sound like they rhyme when they don't, when you just read them aloud. But the way that he performs them, the way he kind of emphasizes certain syllables, like, he's a master at that, and creating these internal cadences, external cadences, the rhymes, and it gets a little bit gross, or does get gross later in his career. But at this time, I feel like there's a balance between.
He's not pointing towards it. In like a song like Rap God, he's pointing towards how technically proficient and great he is. And on someone like Who Knew, it's like, if you blink or you're not paying attention, you forget, which to me is the mark of great songwriting. Exactly. A lot of times with like Kendrick Lamar, my favorite Kendrick Lamar songs are when he's actually not pointing to how good of a rapper he is. Right. It's more so I'm like, oh, he's so great. On every listen, I'm picking up something where I'm like, oh shit, he just did something amazing. Right. But he made it look so easy.
It's like good movies where directors don't. It's like there's some great movies that really draw attention to itself, and it's like, look how cool this scene is shot, and it's very flashy. Or there's other more understated movies where you're just so enamored in the storytelling, it's only when you take a step back and say, oh, actually this is really well put together. Yet it struck this balance of like, it's still immersive, where you're not so detached of like just watching this guy show off, essentially.
I could not agree more. But my last my last category for best moment. To me, this was pretty easy, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, if I should have gone with something else. Everything that has become of Stan, where this was produced by the 45 King, samples Dido's 1998 song Thank You. Obviously, one of the most iconic moments from this song that I remember is when he performs it with Elton John at the 2001 Grammy Awards after Glad had gone after Eminem, kind of rightfully so. Some of the lyrics, I'm like, there is a difference between censorship and Eminem just constantly poking the bear. So I get both sides of it, but the reason why I wanted to single out Stan as a moment is because you can make an argument that Stan is one of the most important songs that has been released in the 21st century, just because Eminem, very early in his career, is putting his finger on something that would come to define how we talk about just art in general. And I'm not even just talking about how we use Stan as a word. I'm more so talking about what fandom would become. And what I mean by that is this is pre-social media, but already Eminem is feeling the effects of being on MTV and VH1 and BET, and this time where the 24-hour news cycle is at its pinnacle. And already it's starting to destroy him. You can see how much Eminem, to me, wants to be respected in hip hop as a lyricist. He wants to be a capital A artist, but the machine is pushing him to be a pop star. And whether it's Taylor Swift or Drake or Kanye, this feeling of Stan and what fandom had become just permeates music to such an extent. And yeah, it's kind of amazing that this word is only this comes out in 2001, so this word is only 24 years old, and it seems like I can't remember a time when this wasn't a word that we used to talk about fandom, which is crazy.
Yeah, it is, because it is so, we use it so much, and it articulates exactly a certain type of person and a certain type of mentality and relationship with celebrity that seems to be increasingly, with social media and stuff, where we are so close to celebrity that even more than he was experiencing now, you know, all of us are out there on social media, and it's easier to, these parasocial relationships are easier to kind of, to build.
I mean, here's what I'll say. What's crazy? There are people right now that are alive that use the word Stan that have never listened to this song. I started thinking about that, where it's just like, your daughters have probably heard Stan. Have your daughters heard Stan before?
No.
But do you think if you were just like, if you describe, oh, that's a Stan, do you think that they would understand what that means?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Where I'm like, oh, to me, I remember when Stan came out. I remember the video. I remember all this stuff. And we're so far from that moment. There are people who have never heard of Eminem, like who have never heard an Eminem song, who are still like, you're acting like a Stan.
Right. So, yeah. I mean, also the storytelling on the song is like undeniably great.
Yes.
It's like so fluid. So like there's a twist ending in a way that I don't think we've ever heard in hip hop before. Again, my mind goes back to Kendrick, and I think he takes a lot from Stan in terms of just good storytelling, using all the verses, not just one verse telling a specific story, but creating an entire arc over the course of a song, and then having a impactful ending with a twist. There's an emotional resonance to the song and to your point, I remember the Elton John performance, very iconic. The only one I would say is, we already talked about it though, is the VMA performance. Yes. That's such iconic too, but I get why you chose this.
And yeah, my last thoughts on Stan is, if we're just talking about the song, is Kendrick there yet in terms of like what Eminem is really good? Like, I think if I had to choose who's the better rapper, I think Kendrick Lamar is easily the better rapper. But in terms of a song like Stan, I still don't know if Kendrick has perfectly been able to do the thing where he's becoming another character, where it's like on this, Eminem is so, like, acting wise, he is so good at playing a role in a way where I was just like, when most other rappers do it, I'm just like, oh, I can tell that they're really struggling with this. Where it's like Eminem to me is almost more comfortable playing characters, where he's more comfortable being Slim Shady. He's more comfortable being Stan. He's very, very, it almost to me sometimes gives him an excuse to get out of himself and play around and be a little bit goofy. Where like, I was like, is there any rapper you can think of in history that does it as well as Eminem can?
Probably not. Justin, is anyone coming to mind for you?
It's funny to think about him as this like multi-tool athlete like that, because it feels very one note, but like, no, I mean, I think Charles is kind of dead on about that.
Yeah.
I can't believe I have this much positive stuff to say about it. Going back to this album, I was like, yo, I love this record.
Yeah. I'm just surprised. I do like every word. At least to most of the songs. Like, it's like it's just one of those albums that are just embedded.
It's embedded, and it is just, it's undeniable.
Yeah.
When I was listening to the Real Slim Shady, Kill You, Criminal, there was moments on even the songs I didn't like, I was like, Eminem's rapping. And what you have to think about is this comes out a year after the Slim Shady LP. I think he created this in a 10-month span.
Yeah.
So to have this much creativity, these many bars is just...
Yeah, we should. Yeah, I don't know if we emphasize how good the rapping on this thing is.
It's phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Justin, like historically, could you paint the picture just a little bit about like what Eminem kind of contributed in terms of like, it feels like there's a before and after Eminem.
Yeah, there's a lot there, right? There is, on one level, you had rappers that were like really flipping these polysyllabic rhyme schemes, right? You had your Cool G raps, even Rakim was doing things like that. But like, I always think of like Cool G rap as like the golden age rapper that was like really like doing that. And then like rappers like AZ and Nas and Big Pun most directly were very influenced by Cool G rap. But Eminem, like stylistically, you're talking about with those slant rhymes and just how all these words are rhyming and just the way, what he was able to do with the way he bent syllables and words really kind of just changed how people were rapping. And then like one thing that we've barely touched on is the whiteness. And there had really not been a credible mainstream white rapper, right? Like there were white rappers that were like, I just going back there, I don't know, I think about a rapper like Milkbone, who like whatever, I think of like Third Base. They were legends, but they weren't huge. When you think of huge white rappers, you kind of had your Vanilla Ice, you kind of had your Marky Mark. They were people that really weren't taken seriously. And I think as it relates to this album, for as good as the rapping was on the Slim Shady LP, there's a chance that his second album comes out and flops, and he is just kind of remembered as a more talented version of Vanilla Ice. The fact that this album comes along and does what it does, and he's doing what he does so well, and it makes him just this true like cultural figure. For better or worse, I guess that's the thing, right? Like because this
opens the floodgates.
It opens the floodgates, right?
Yeah.
So, I think that it's hard to make a list of most talented rappers ever and not put Eminem on it.
Yeah.
I also think it's hard to not make a list of maybe the worst things that have ever happened to hip hop and not think about what Eminem did, right? It's this crazy thing. Like, he's so credible, he's so good, but everything that came about after him, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think in a mainstream context, the thing that even in this album, when Eminem raps, I don't make white music, I don't make black music, I don't make white music, I make fight music. It's even at this time, I feel like he was starting to understand that he had become this symbol for a certain demographic of white Americans who really did not have someone like him speaking to them. And what I mean by that is like, he's coming from the Midwest, trailer park, extremely poor, loves black music, loves hip hop, and he's doing it in such a credible way, and he's doing it and he's so talented, and he's someone who can show up on the Blueprint with Jay-Z and not get fucking washed.
Yeah.
That, to most white fans, was something that probably was never gonna fucking happen.
Yeah.
And to me, the tragedy of kind of Eminem is that as his career progresses and as he becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, he influences artists that are, to Justin's point, that are way less talented than him to be talking to a certain subset of the country that a lot of times can speak to some of the darkest, most racist parts. And I don't think that's Eminem's fault.
No, yeah.
I just think that it's the way our country is built, and he's tried to fight against that.
Yeah.
I will say I have not co-signed everything Eminem has done. I am a very, very, I have a very complicated relationship with him and everything that's happened, but I never doubted for a second that he loved hip hop.
Yeah.
He never did that shit where it's like, oh, I released a rap album, now I'm gonna go do rock. Like he even when he drops his albums now, I'm like, this isn't for me. This, to my ear, it sounds whack, but he still loves hip hop. He still loves rapping. He respects, he knows more about hip hop than like he's forgotten more about hip hop than I can remember, you know? That you can never take that away from him.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a record, it's, it has Rakim references on it, right? And compare that to somebody like MGK, right?
Yeah. We see what MGK is doing now, and I like some MGK records.
We know you do. We're actually well aware of it.
I love this pop punk album. Do you know this?
Really?
I loved it.
I didn't even push play on it. That's weird. Is this a cultural exchange album?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not. I think I made Rob Harvilla listen to it.
Okay.
We want to go to Igor?
Yeah, let's take a break. We'll come back and do Igor. I'm excited.
I'm super excited. All right. We are back. And instead of going to the odd past, I think it's time we go to an odd future.
Oh my God.
You like that? I was working on that.
Did you think about that in the bathroom?
Yeah, I was taking a piss. We took a break, guys. All right, it's time for Tyler, the Creator's Igor. Can you tell the people a little bit about the song?
Yeah, it releases on May 17th, 2019. It sells 165,000 copies in its first week. It is Tyler's first #1 album. It is also the album that got him his first Grammy Award for Best Rap Album, somewhat controversially. And it spawns just one single, An Earthquake, which I know you love. And let's just get into the reason why I picked this one. I think, well, okay, you have a complicated relationship with Tyler. Maybe let's start there. Let's table set that. And then but you also love Igor.
I love Igor.
So
I love Tyler. When I say I have a complicated relationship with Tyler, he is one of those artists that is your age. So I was there for it all. So I was there when I was angry, when everybody was yelling at Odd Future for saying kill people, burn shit, fuck school. I've been there since Bastard. I saw all the mixtapes, everything. I'm from day one. And to me, Tyler is not as great of a rapper as Jay-Z, but to me, he has the same tendency of like, one album I'll like, the other album I will be like, this is not fucking for me. But what is funny about his career is we are like the inverse, where the Tyler albums that I love are lesser ones for you and vice versa. And I think Igor is the marriage of both of us being like, yeah, we love this album. This album is undeniable, which is obviously why it went #1.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it showcases everything that Tyler's been working towards his entire career. I think one of the interesting things about Tyler's career, to your point about him coming up so early, being famous at 17, 18, building this reputation not only on like this gothcore shock rap kind of approach, but also his antics outside of the music. Yeah. His TV shows, his loud personality, and he was kind of just pigeonholed as a guy that makes music, but also is like a character, is funny. And what's interesting and what I love about his career is that in real time, because he did enter the public consciousness so young, is that we've gotten to see him evolve as an artist in real time, and we can trace that artistic evolution through each album, because in my mind it's a pretty linear. The trajectory is just always up, where I think he's gotten better and better as an artist. I think he's had more to say as a person through each project. Whether it's your favorite or not, that's one thing. But in terms of his technical skill level, like the progression from Cherry Bomb to Flower Boy to Igor to Call Me If You Get Lost to now Chromacopia, he's just getting better and better and getting more comfortable experimenting with different world building and sounds. And I think Igor is that nice balance between what he tried to do with Cherry Bomb, which was more experimental and genre bending, what he ended up perfecting in Flower Boy, which was song structure and finally becoming more traditional songwriter and understanding how to make catchy hooks with melody, balancing that with the rap. And so once you get to Igor, he was able to, I think for the first time, Flower Boy is a great album, but it's a little bit more one-dimensional than Igor. And when we get to Igor, he's perfected so many skills in his kind of toolkit that he is able to craft an album that is experimental, is melodic, is catchy, but also unique. And it's a singular vision in terms of like, just like a Twisted Fantasy, I can not only hear the sound of Igor, I can also like picture the album in my head. Yep. He's gotten to the point with Igor that the world building and all the ancillary visuals and music videos and everything that surrounds the album really all amalgamate into each of these worlds that he builds with each album and each rollout. And for me, Igor, maybe I just like the sound of Igor the best because it is a little more, it's kind of got Yeezus elements to it. There's a lot of distortion. It's a little rough around the edges, but then it has this great contrast in like melody. He's not really rapping on this album at all, which was part of the problem that he had with winning the best rap album at the Grammys, which he was very vocal about.
Can I also say this though about this album, which I find super fascinating? If I just complimented Eminem for having one of the best voices in hip hop, I think Tyler, the Creator, has one of the most iconic voices in hip hop, but also one of the more limited ones. Yes, when you were talking about Beyonce, last episode, you were like, hey, like a voice as an instrument for humans, it's like you got what you got.
Yeah.
And for Beyonce, she's blessed by God. And I think in a different way, Tyler the Creator is also blessed by God. When he arrives on the track, you know his voice.
Yeah.
Like most people, like how many people in hip hop history where I would put Rick Ross in this, ODB in
right.
this, like even Lil Wayne, Mixtape Wayne, when you hear their voice, there's something that is so like cuts through the record. But the other side of that is Tyler has been very, very vocal about this, is that, he's he's an R&B singer in a rapper's body. He wants to sing. And with each project, he was pushing that, whether it was like getting good at producing other R&B singers and then getting a little bit more melodic himself. And I think Igor is the moment where he finds the exact way to use his instrument to the best of his abilities. And that's why I love it, because I'm like, he never gave up on it. Incrementally, it's just like, all right, how can I sell this? How can I be a singer?
It's the perfect phrase, because he doesn't have a great singing voice. Just technically, he can't sing.
Yeah.
Yet the same conversation we had about Runaway, if you do it correctly, you can actually work that. You can use that as to your advantage if you're creative with it. Like he does a lot of pitch shifting on this album in terms of like we do hear his voice, for the most part, it is pitched up, which gives it just like, and he's playing this character of Igor the whole time. So it does give it this like very distinct identity. And to your point, him with Flower Boy, he was giving Frank Ocean the hook. He was giving Kali Uchis the hook, and he was getting traditional singers to sing the melodies I think he wrote. And he got really good at doing that. But with Igor, there's not a ton of features. Maybe he has Charlie Wilson come back him up, so a hit like Igor does, or like Earthquake works. But for the most part, Igor is all him, and he is using his voice in very interesting ways. Are you ready for some album trivia?
All right. Y'all, I was unfairly attacked and ridiculed for my well-researched questions. So I've tried my best to not get yelled at again.
Okay.
I have 2 questions for you. I'm going to give you, do you want the harder one first or the softball?
Let's go softball.
What artist gave Tyler more confidence to sing on this record?
My favorite, my GOAT, Kendrick Lamar.
It was Kendrick Lamar. I know I'm not the best singer, but a friend of mine named Kendrick, I played him some stuff and he said, oh, this shit is just feeling. You weren't worried about the technical being perfect with your vocal. It was actual emotion. What I find so great about that, to me, Kendrick Lamar is also someone with a limited singing voice where it's like he can do a lot with his regular rapping voice. Right. But when it comes to being more melodic, he's also an artist that with very incremental jumps. You can see from Section 80 to Good Kids to Butterfly to Damn. Not only is he getting better, and it's funny that they're both West Coast artists, getting better at strong song structure, but getting better at selling a record. You don't have to always be hitting the correct notes. And to me, Kendrick is the master of this, of just like, oh, I get the feeling of it. Like I wouldn't want someone else doing this like little alien vocal. I need Kendrick doing that fucking shit.
Yeah.
So that was a softball. This one is a little bit more difficult.
Okay. I got 1 point. First point of the season.
First point of the season. Tyler revealed to Zane Lowe that the Igor character with the short bob premiered 3 years before we got the actual album. Can you tell me where Igor was premiered?
Dude, I know this. 3 years before, so that's Cherry Bomb. I definitely have not known this, but this is a great question. What is it?
He said in the interview, I had been drawing that character for 3 years now. It's actually in a stop motion I did for this Vice show. Yes. It's a little stop motion video I did. It has black hair, but it's the short bob cut and the glasses and the gold teeth. And I didn't write this down. One of the things that, once again, I think Tyler is such a smart artist. He was just like, I changed up the black hair to blonde because the blonde fit better with the undertones of my skin. I'm like, he's so fucking smart. Yeah. Like he's such a visual artist and everything he does is so beautiful. But now I'm going to throw to Justin real quick. Justin, were those fair questions compared to the previous episodes?
Yeah, maybe a little too fair on that first one. You can't.
You guys yell.
You know what it is. You know what it is. It's like when you need to get something going on offense. Sometimes you just got to hit a layup, right? Sometimes you just got to get an easy shot. Stop trying to make the threes work, right? So I appreciate you giving Cole the layup. I expect him to go on a little bit of a run now, but we're gonna see how it works.
Hell yeah! All right, biggest song. We already know what it is.
Gotta go Earthquake.
Don't leave. It's my fault.
Earthquake. Oh, you make my earthquake. You ride me down something, baby. It's making my heart break. You make my earthquake.
I love this song.
I think you like this song more than I do.
Wait, what? This is okay, outside of Yonkers, this is Tyler the Creator's second greatest song. This is one of his best songs ever. This is an undeniable
Yonkers being Tyler's best song is a fucking basic Benny take, dude. That is a horrible take. He's
never made a better song than Yonkers still.
You're fucking crazy.
Justin, can you back me up,
You're
bro?
fucking crazy. That is a crazy...
He's made better songs than God. I actually don't know. What Charles is saying makes some sense. I think if you like go through the craft and the way the songs are written, you can find a bunch of stuff. Like there's better songs on Call Me If You Get Lost. There's better songs on Flower Boy. There are better songs on this record. Has he ever made a song that's evoked that Yonkers feeling?
That could punch you. That's a hip hop song. That's a punch you in the gut. Like I could put on Yonkers right now. Motherfuckers be like, that nigga was spitting. Damn.
This fucking wild take.
All right.
Anyway,
let's talk about
Earthquake. Okay. I think a good entry point to Earthquake is knowing. I was thinking this was going to be part of your trivia, that it was intentionally written for Justin Bieber. Tyler has long been wanted to be in that Pharrell kind of space, and where he's producing for other people, he's writing songs for other people, not necessarily.
He's trying to give Justin Bieber a couple songs.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, I mean, Earthquake's a strange song. It does have a catchy hook, and the hook is written to be like very, it's a perfect pop hook in terms of it. Very simple. You can sing it on the second time you hear it, and it's an earworm. He also tried to give it to Rihanna after Justin Bieber rejected it. But I think it's a good entry point to the song because it's essentially just two hooks. If you you don't realize it when you're listening to it, but the whole song is the part you make my earthquake, riding around, you're shaking me up. It's making my heart break. And then it's the B section, don't leave, it's my fault. Tyler doesn't rap. He doesn't really do anything else on the song except those two parts. And then he gives Cardi a feature, which is like,
this is a top 10 feature of all time. Oh, not of all time, but of at least the 21st century.
I think it's Tyler doing the Kanye thing where it's like, who else would ever think to put Cardi on Earthquake? Like it's a pretty genius move because for some reason it works really, really well.
And he distills what makes it's funny. I think for a lot of people who aren't super into hip hop, when they hear Playboy Cardi, they're like, what are these baby squeaks? Wow, the fuck this. And to me, Tyler does that perfect Pharrell Kanye thing that we talk about, where it's like he knows what makes Playboy Cardi so interesting, and then he just distills it into the best pop package.
Yeah,
we ain't got a Mama D Rose. I don't give a fuck about that.
What is he even saying? What is he even saying? I remember I had to try to because I did dissect on this album, so I had to analyze that verse. Can't even remember what it.
I'm with Tyler, yeah. You know, like old Vicky.
But the vibe is great. The vibe is great. It fits the song perfectly. What do you like about Earthquake so much?
It's because Tyler, the Creator, and I are the same age. I think the same reasons that I dislike him are the same reasons that I love him, is because we have the same touch points culturally.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know, when he's bringing Charlie Wilson on a record, I remember my parents listening to Charlie Wilson.
Yeah.
He's doing his best Pharrell impression. I remember my feelings of hearing Neptune's beats and Super Thug and everything. Same thing with Playboy Cardi.
Or even like the early 2000s, like R&B and neo soul that he loves so much.
That the artists that Tyler loves, because they're touchstones for me, like when I think, especially for a younger demographic that Tyler definitely speaks to them, when they hear a beat, they like, dog, this is the most transformational thing I've ever heard. And to me, I'm just like, oh, that's Neptune's. And not in a bad way. I'm just like, you can just hear it. And to me, I think Earthquake works for me because it was like the first time where I'm like, I could still hear the influences, but only Tyler could have made this record. Like, I don't think Justin Bieber, this would have been a hit with Justin Bieber.
No.
I think Tyler is what makes this interesting.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And yeah, I think also that's a great point about his artistry in terms of like amalgamating all his influences. I think Igor is the first time where it's like, yeah, you can still identify influences, but you would never say this sounds like that. Like Igor is 100%, I think, a singular work. There's not a song on here where it feels so directly derivative of a Neptune's, you know. You can hear the influence, but he's gotten to the point where all those influences now, you know, converged into something totally brand new, which is, again, so interesting about his career. You can hear where early in his career, all the influences, like a lot of young artists, are just on their sleeve. It's, you know, it's very obvious. You go back to Cherry Bomb's opening track, and it's like essentially a Neptune song. Yep. And but by the time we get to Igor and everything else after, I think he's done a brilliant job about.
So why are you hard on this song? Because to me, this is not only the biggest song off this record. I could make a very, very valid case that this is also the best song on the record. It is undeniable.
It's a great song. It's catchy. I just think there's more interesting songs that fulfill my.
This don't hit you in your soul. Like I did when I put this on yesterday. I'm like, I was dancing. I was just like, I love this. I can't believe I'm being so positive about that.
I love it. Okay, so should we go on to best song? I'm very interested to know your best song, but I'm going with the best song on the album, which is New Magic Wand.
I hate this song.
You hate this song?
I don't like this song.
Wait, what?
This is everything I don't like about Tyler. In one package. I don't like,
you know, this is his favorite song of all, like the favorite song, his favorite song he's ever written.
Really?
At least post Igor. I don't know if that's still true after like Chromacopia, but he's very adamant about this song being like his best.
Well, I got a plan with the walk in the pen. If you can't understand, I'm a hawk in the gym. Eyes on the prize, got weight on my chest that I need to get off. I ain't talking to them. Can't be in the picture if you got no frame. And let the world know cause I ain't got no shame. Blow the whole spot up cause I wanna share last names. I wanna be your number one.
Okay. It's a great, like, I think it's everything. It's like, well, it's interesting making the parallel between M because New Magic Wand is essentially a murder fantasy. So the story of Igor very quickly is essentially a bisexual love triangle where Tyler loves a man, the man's in a relationship with a woman, and Tyler's trying to get the guy likes the girl, but is also leading Tyler on. And so that's essentially the whole album is like, it's desire, it's obsession, it's release and acceptance at the end. And it's kind of lemonade in terms of like, you're getting this emotional trajectory of what it feels like to be rejected, and all the stages of unrequited love is essentially the story of the album. And New Magic Wand is like the bitter kind of resentful, if you don't love me, I'm going to kill you type of experience. It has the great lyric, I need to get her out the picture, essentially playing on this idea of a new magic wand being a Photoshop wand and erasing her out of the picture so that him and this guy could be together. Tyler said this about New Magic Wand, quote, I've also come to the conclusion that this is my favorite song I've ever made. It's so Tyler. Everything I've attempted in one, executed perfectly. So if you break down the song, which I'll just play you a couple excerpts, because what the production on this song, I don't know what you don't like about this song, but the production is great. And when you hear just the instrumental, it'll give you a more of a appreciation for all the details. And when he talks about everything that I've tried to do in one song, this is part of it. The level of production and detail in production is really great. So let me just play you this clip of the verse. All those sounds. Well, so just the little details of the congos coming in and out, the little synthesizers coming in and out. You're not impressed. You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
No, it's a good beat. I'm not gonna be a hater. Like, that's a dope beat. It's just like Earthquake to me. The reason I like a song like that is because I think my biggest critique of Tyler is that he's so busy. Like his beats, the way it's every single idea he's ever had. And I think New Magic Wand is like, to Tyler's point, I think it is the best of him doing that thing of like, I'm going to make this undeniable, but it's still going to be busy. Where Earthquake to me succeeds because he finally just kind of like it's so minimal. I even think at when he was performing, it was in this complex, like basically when he was premiering the album, he said he was inspired by one of his really good friends and how minimal his house was in LA. And those are the parts of the album that I like the most, which feel
more stripped down.
He's not trying to impress. It's all because to me, that's harder. Like that's the real hard thing as a producer to be like, and like what you just played me sounds so fucking dope. It just takes me out of the minimal simplicity.
I get it. Well, completely opposite of that, because this next part is really cool because there's 3 simultaneous vocal layers. So I wanted to point out, so when we listen for the 3 simultaneous vocal layers stacked on top of each other. I think it's really cool. We got the Please Don't Leave Me. We got the like magic chant. And then a woman comes in singing I Can Make Her Leave. And just listen to how these things all stack up on each other. I think it's a really cool section of the song. Dope as hell. No?
It's not moving me, Cole.
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm like
doing my
dance.
best.
I like to groove.
Oh, well, then I'll spare you the ending. I think the ending's really cool.
Whoa, no. Don't spare me. I can be dissected still.
Okay, hold on. Have you seen Tyler, the Creator live? You haven't seen this song live.
I haven't seen him. You're going to get so mad at me one time in college, this was actually when I was like, I'm off Tyler. I had bought Tyler tickets and I sold them because I was like, I don't even want to go. Like, I was so just like, I'm
Oh my God.
This is actually Flower Boy era.
Really? Oh, that was a great tour. Okay. New Magic Wand's the best song. What is your best song?
Wait, before I play the last thing.
No, it's fine. It's fine. What's your best song?
Can you guess?
Aside from Earthquake? All right, so if you like the stripped down song structure, you like the catchy stuff, you like I Think.
That's my second favorite on. That's a fucking champ.
That's a great song.
Tyler, Solange. We're going to talk about Solange later. Have great chemistry.
They do, yeah.
The hook, I think, is one of the best hooks that he's ever fucking written. It's I think I'm falling in love. This time I think it's for real. How can I tell you? How can I tell? Like, come on, it's undeniable. This is what I love from Tyler.
Yeah.
If I could get 2 Tyler records, right? If I could get like 2 different Tyler records, both would not be produced by him. I would want one that is just like get Pharrell and Chad in a room, tell them to kiss and make up, stop fucking beefing. I think a Neptune's produced Tyler record would be insane. And then the other one I would want would be in the Earthquake, I Think mold, and him actually like going to like R&B producers. Because while I do like Tyler's beats, I love when he's just rapping over someone else's production, because I think it almost gives him just more time to be like, all right, I'm a flex. I love the flexing records, and on I Think he's just so good at like melody and hooks and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I do think there's a world in which Tyler is bigger than he is now if he's not an auteur and doing every single part of the beat, doing everything part of the album himself, and he essentially doesn't work with collaborators too often. Do you think he would be a bigger artist if he did jump on other people's production and did collaborate more?
I think he would be,
because let me preface that. While I think he's a very talented producer, and why a part of a lot of the reason why I love him is because his production is so interesting, it is what limits him commercially, I think, because it is so strange, you know.
I think he potentially would be a more commercially viable artist in terms of having bigger hit singles. I don't know if he would have the longevity that he's bought himself.
Yeah, great point.
Where when you sign up for a Tyler record, whether you are a super fan like you or I come in and out like me, I'm always like, I'm going to give his record a shot, because I'm just like, I want to see the world that he's created.
Right.
If you take somebody like J. Cole, I think J. Cole, Tyler's production is good enough and often great enough where it's just like, I'm there. Like, I'm just like, he can, like, sometimes I am like, no, Justin Bieber, you should take a fucking Tyler record. You shouldn't let him produce the whole thing.
Right.
But I'm like, damn, if you're working with Dijon and McGee, like, throw some Tyler a bone. But it's, yeah, like I said, it's tough because I think Tyler has now become an artist in the vein of a Kanye, and you do not get to that point unless you are so protective.
Yeah.
But the thing that he doesn't do that Kanye does so well is I'm like, Kanye lets other producers come in. Like, sometimes I'm like, hey, yo, Tyler, like, let somebody else with some drums come in here.
Right.
Let somebody else, like, can you imagine if he worked with all of the same producers that Kanye has brought in, what they could help Tyler unlock, you know?
Yeah. It's also what I love about him, though, because it is such a singular vision.
It is.
And he has the capability to do it. So, next category. So your best song would have been, I think.
My best song, if I couldn't pick Earthquake, if we're being interesting, would have been, I Think. Now it's time for worst song. We already know which one I was going to pick, which is New Magic Wand. Just kidding.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
It is actually your one is actually the objectively correct one.
I think so. I mean, if you see it, I've seen it twice now live, or 3 times now live. I don't think you could actually fully understand the song until you see it live. It is like incredible, legitimately incredible. That whole outro where after that alarm sound and then the beat comes back in, he's kind of yelling. It's really, really good live song. So, but my worst song is Puppet.
I'm your puppet. You control me.
I don't like Puppet. Do you like Puppet?
No.
This was hard.
Yeah, it's
it's kind of like Lemonade to me, where there's not a bad, I don't think there's a bad song on Igor. I think that's what makes it great. But Puppet to me just doesn't work in the way as well as most of the other songs do. It's got a great chorus. It's got a lazy Kanye feature that seems just improv'd and not finished. And it's the one song that works the least for me.
I totally agree. But it was funny listening to Puppet, to your point. This is not a record that, and it shows you just kind of the progression of these artists, where Igor is not a hip hop record, but it's like when you're listening to Marshall Mathers or Blueprint, there's enough songs where you're like, there's going to be duds. Igor is such a contained package in the same way of Lemonade, where you're like, we're not talking about worst song really. We're talking kind of the least effective song,
right? Yeah.
The one that does not sell the theme or the larger arc of the album. And I think Puppet is the one for me where it's like, it does not really adhere as well or sell the world in the way that the other songs, like I Think or Earthquake or even New Magic Wand do for me.
All right. Best deep cut was a tough one to me, because I think could have been a best deep cut. I don't know if that's a pretty big song, but Can We Be Friends, the last song, I really love that song. Boy Is a Gun is really good.
I'm not a fan of Boy Is a Gun.
Oh, really?
I don't like Boy Is a Gun either.
Interesting.
It's okay.
It's like the most traditional rap song on the album. Okay. So
I like a very specific type of Tyler rapping to be.
You like the darker?
No, like what beat did he take off GNX?
Oh, Hey Now, Say Now.
Yeah, I like that type of Tyler. Just kind of like I'm stunting, like
we need a Tyler mixtape or something that is just that. Like,
that is literally. If I'm being real, before we get, I will just say I wish that Kendrick would just send Tyler all of the GNX.
Curate, executive produce. Oh, just the generic.
I just want Tyler rapping over all the GNX. Over all of them.
Yeah.
Just see what he fucking does with them.
Okay, so my best deep cut, I went with Igor's theme. Which is a weird deep cut because it's the first song, but it's also, in terms of streams, it's not the most streamed song off the album. And it's an instrumental song. It's a legitimate 3-minute and 20-second instrumental. And the reason why I picked it is to showcase Tyler as a singular producer, someone whose sound at this point in his career is very distinct. And I think Igor's theme, in a lot of ways, showcases his production because it is instrumental. It shows his vision and able to craft a song that doesn't rely on your verse chorus structure. It has its own trajectory. It's more like a classical composition in terms of like the music itself needs to carry all the weight. You can't rely on melody in a way that you can just kind of toss to a hook and then have a contrasting verse. And when you really dissect what's going on in Igor's theme, it's like, I think it's a brilliant instrumental. And I love the introduction to Igor. Just the 30 seconds of the one synthesizer note, to me, is like very iconic.
Can I ask a really quick question?
Yeah.
What is, because I've done some reading, but I want to hear your breakdown of it. What is the narrative importance of Igor, like the literary importance of like Igor as a name, as a character, in terms of like this album?
Yeah, I mean, I think Tyler has tried to, he usually goes away from any type of literary reading, and he always just is like, it just looked cool.
Yeah.
But Igor, to me, and I don't think I'm alone in this, but it's like, it's a play on the horror archetype of the grotesque sidekick.
Yeah.
It's the hunchback serving the mad scientist, and this plays into the theme of him being the third wheel in this relationship, being the sidekick obsessed with this master person that he loves, and this person being indifferent about him and loving this one other thing, which in case of the mad scientist analogy, he likes the science more than he likes the sidekick, but the sidekick is in love with the scientist. And so that's the dynamic and him, that to me, like the grotesqueness of the cover plays into that too, right? He looks kind of deliberately harsh on the cover, and he looks angular and grotesque, like he has the flat top. And so that was my reading of it, and I'm not alone in that reading, but Tyler just says he likes stuff to look cool, which I don't know. Artists sometimes try to undermine their own vision, but Igor's theme's cool. Do you know the connection between the beginning and the middle, or the start and the end of this album? Do you know this theory? It's one of my more popular theories, so if anyone's heard it so far, sorry for the redundancy here, but so Igor's theme starts with the iconic note, right? This, to me, my reading of this, it's interesting because this synthesizer is every single song on this album.
Yeah.
So one reason why this album sounds so cohesive is because Igor's theme, Igor, the character, is represented by this instrument, that distorted synthesizer. And so
that also reminds me, to your point about the Igor horror, like that synth reminds me very much of, like, it almost sounds like an organ, like in a cathedral,
right.
Just very just gothic and operatic, and not ugly, but you know what I mean? Giving you that
It is, yeah. It is ugly, I think, quote unquote. So the interesting thing is that the album also ends with the same instrument, and it ends on a question: are we still friends? So we go through the album, we go through all the emotions of rejection and unrequited love, and then he gets to a place of acceptance with Gone Gone and Thank You, thanking this person for the times that they had together. The penultimate song is I Don't Love You Anymore, so releasing that love, and then coming to the end, asking the question, are we still friends? And it's posed as a question throughout. That's the hook of the song. And so it ends on a literal question. And one thing I'll plant before I give you the breakdown, there's the skit by Gerard Carmichael, exactly what you run from, you end up chasing. Mm-hmm. So just remember that when I lay out this next thing, which is that the album also ends with the same synthesized instrument holding out a single note. Right? A little more deflated at the end of the story, but quick music theory, in every key signature, there's what's called a dominant and a tonic chord. Tonic chord is like the home chord. It's the chord when you hear it, everything resolves and you feel at home. The tonic, or the dominant, is the chord of tension, and it's usually always played before the tonic because harmonically there's tension in the tonic, or in the dominant, and it gets resolved technically by the tonic. And so when you realize that the last note of the album that we just heard at the end of Are You Still Friends is the dominant of the intro, the tonic. So it creates a perfect loop. When you loop the album, the last unresolved note of Are We Still Friends resolves with this introductory note. So it creates a perfect loop, which is interesting conceptually because exactly what you run from, you end up chasing. So can he be friends with this guy, or will he just fall in love with him again if he accepts him back into his life and start the loop over? Have you ever had that person in your life that you can't be friends because there's always going to be feelings there? So it's like this enclosed loop that he's trapped in. Exactly what you run from, you end up chasing. It's all embedded. Are you dissected? Did I sell you on that? Did it make sense?
I have been dissected. I'm very impressed.
It's very cool.
That is one of your better ones.
Okay.
That is fucking genius.
It's genius on Tyler's part. He also liked the tweet when I first laid out this theory. So in my mind, that confirms the theory that was intentional.
Hell yeah.
So
what then is your biggest moment?
Biggest moment, obviously not as iconic as Eminem's very many iconic moments, but you remember I played for you before this, his Grammy.
Yes.
Not only his Grammy speech when he won his first Grammy for Rap Album of the Year with Igor, but also his performance. People remember he performed Earthquake, kind of.
Charlie Wilson kind of takes over.
It's a cappella of Earthquake, and then it cuts to Tyler, who performs New Magic Wand. And he does nod to Eminem directly. We'll put it up on the screen now.
your clue. You wanna get me? What? She's gonna be dead. Yeah, I just got a magic wand. We can finally be together, baby.
He nods to the Slim Shady performance that we talked about where 100 people were dressed up as Slim Shady. There's like 50 Igors all dressed up just like Tyler. And what I love about that performance and why I think it's iconic, I even started the season of Igor with this moment, is because we think about Tyler being this singular artist, someone that hasn't compromised his sound to kind of sell out commercially, finally getting the acclaim that he's always desired. He's been pretty frank about like wanting to be kind of acknowledged by a Grammy, acknowledged by these higher things in a like a Pharrell has, and finally getting that, and not performing Earthquake, not performing the hit, but doing his favorite song, putting on a fucking blonde wig. Yep. There's houses on fire. Like, it's totally, that performance is totally Tyler uncompromised. I love that he didn't compromise himself. When he finally got the moment that he was looking for, we got a authentic representation of Tyler, the Creator, on a huge global stage. And I love when artists don't compromise in that way. Like, to me, I love that he was just able to be himself and show the world who he is. Because if you look at did you see the audience's reactions? They were just like, what is going on? Which I absolutely love. Like, I absolutely love it.
And to your point, I love the Grammy speech that he had after, because Tyler's not the first artist, especially a black artist, to voice that, where it's like, if you're black, you're either rap or R&B. And obviously Igor, he's not rapping on this album nearly at all, you know? And and I do get why it would irk him, where it's like, even when you finally get this thing that you've been coveting for so long, you're still trapped within the confines of a very, very, very racist award. I have, like, honestly no respect for the Grammys, just in terms of just like, if you look at the history of like who wins, categories, all of that, you're just like, this is about a very, very specific vision for popular music, and that usually Black and brown artists, women, queer artists are not part of that picture. And I think it is very impressive that even at this moment where Tyler's reached this pinnacle, he's still like, but nah, I gotta be honest.
Right, exactly.
That's always a thing.
Exactly.
Say whatever you will about Tyler, he's always been fucking honest.
Yeah.
It sucks that whenever we, and I mean guys that look like me, do anything that's genre bending or that's anything, they always put it in a rap or urban category, which is, and I don't like that urban word. It's just a politically correct way to say the N-word to me. All
right. Are you ready for the head-to-head? This is going to get, you think it's going to get
dicey?
All right. So just to recap, we're going to now put Igor and Marshall Mathers LP head-to-head. Remember that the goal of this season is to crown the best album of the 21st century so far. Right now, Charles and I must decide whether Igor or Marshall Mathers LP advances to the season finale Royal Rumble. To do this, we're going to put the 5 categories that we talked about for each album going head to head. 1 point is going to be awarded for each category win. Most total points wins. Justin is here to be our referee and scorekeeper. No longer than 2 minutes per category to debate them. Are we ready to start with the
Let's go. So
biggest song versus biggest song? Oh, this is interesting because you love Earthquake so much.
Yes.
Earthquake versus Slim Shady.
I would rather listen to Earthquake, it just like my normal life in 2025, but it is undeniable that the real Slim Shady is way bigger of a song.
Is it? Oh, okay. Like the category is technically biggest song.
Biggest.
So we just going to, is it just an easy call then?
It is. I mean, what? Last time I checked, the real Slim Shady is 7 times platinum. How big is Earthquake?
All right. Okay. I'm not.
Come on.
I'm not going to fight. You're right. Obviously. Best song. It gets interesting.
This is
Kill You versus New Magic Wand. New Magic Wand clearly is the more interesting, more forward thinking, more singular. Kill You, I can name 20 songs that sound like that from Eminem. It's not unique in any way.
We're not doing this. We're not doing this again. All right. Kill You is not only one of the best Eminem songs, it's some of the best rapping of the 21st century. Now, New Magic Wand is cool and it's cute, but it wouldn't even... Well, I'll put it to you this way. What genre, if you had to pick a genre, what genre would New Magic Wand be in?
This is the thing about Tyler. There's not a genre.
R&B?
New Magic Wand? No. Electro, rap, or...
Exactly.
Wait, what do you...
Fucking nothing. It's not. It wouldn't even be in the top R&B, electro, rap, whatever. It's a nothing.
You want to put it in a box? You're saying it's bad because it can't fit in a box?
No, I'm saying
good
that
because it can't fit in a box.
About the greatest songs of the 21st century, I could make an argument that Kill You would have to be in there somewhere. New Magic Wand would not be the Tyler record. It would not be. It's
neither
not.
Would Kill You though.
Kill You would at least, if you were like, all right, Eminem songs that he's released in the 21st century, Kill You would most likely be in the top 10. I can make you an argument it is a top 10 Eminem record. I don't know if New Magic Wand is a top 10 Tyler record.
It's like it's
not even the best record
I was gonna say,
from that year.
No, I think it's his like best song. If we did a Last Song Standing on Tyler, New Magic, oh god,
if we did a Last Song Standing on Tyler, Earthquake would be the one that would win.
No.
What?
New Magic Wand has a case to be made. It would win the whole thing.
Earthquake is one of Tyler's only hits.
Who cares about hits? Tyler's not a hit maker.
So when he makes the hit, you have to honor it, right?
No, I don't care about hits.
When you look at when they're like, all right, Tyler, whenever Tyler has his obituary, right? If we stop today, the two songs that you would pick would be Yonkers.
Such a basic,
Earthquake.
This is a basic ass take. So, Justin, referee. A referee with the heavy Eminem bias, I'll say.
What the fuck, man? Yesterday I had a heavy Jay-Z bias. Now I have a heavy Eminem bias. I actually have a very complicated history with Eminem.
Okay.
I want to be clear on that.
All right.
If we're actually going, we can't get into that. That's a whole episode on its own. Cole, I got to be honest. I think you're kind of crazy on this one.
Let's like
is there any
Justin picks play. Let's do the test.
I think I just picked.
Play them both next to each other.
Is there any song off of Igor that you would even say would come close to beating?
Would be Earthquake.
Can I say that I actually think that Igor doesn't have any bad songs?
Yeah,
I would agree.
Yeah, it's the Lemonade. We're doing Lemonade Blueprint again, where it's like the highs of Marshall Mather are fucking very high,
but
there's way more low moments than Igor.
Igor never gets as high as
that. Might be true, except
so let's play both and just do a test.
Just do nothing for you. Okay. And then let's go to the basic Kill You.
All right. Don't add extra sauce.
Fuck, it's really good though. It's so good. It's good.
Like, it's undeniable.
It's really good. Yeah.
Justin, make the decision.
I'm going Kill You 100 times out of 100 on this one.
Finally, a real hip hop moment on this season. Thank you.
It's not the best hip hop song of the 21st century. It's the.
Is it one of the best opening tracks on a rap record of the century?
And also, you played moment.
That is a good point.
You played the rare moment where Tyler is rapping on that album, and the rapping that Eminem is doing is way better.
Kind of rapping. I mean,
all right, this is actually a category I think you will win.
Worst song for sure.
It's for sure. Remember Me.
Give me one. Yeah,
that is easy. It's definitely Remember Me.
One point on the board for Tyler. 2 for Eminem. Best deep cut. Igor.
It's easily Who Knew.
Igor's theme versus Who Knew? Let's do the back-to-back. The back-to-back does help. Let's go Who Knew first. Okay, it sounds just like Kill You, though, by the way.
What do you...
No, go to the verse.
Straight jump out, put it over your mouth and grab you by the face. What now? Oh,
want me to watch my mouth? How? Take my fucking eyeballs out and turn them around?
It's really good. It's so good.
I can see it on your face.
I know.
You're like,
Cole, which song would Tyler pick?
Yeah, I mean, this is true. Yeah. Igor's theme, though. Come on. After the breakdown.
I love this breakdown.
So sick. Okay, this part where higher.
Oh, this
so
is
sick.
Good.
It's a hard back to back because they're just so fucking different.
To give you credit, it's gonna have to be Who Knew. But Igor's theme is
sick.
So sick. I love that. And the part that you were describing, the ascending, like, is so
sick.
And for best moment, we know it. It's standard.
Yeah. Fuck. Eminem just washed Igor. Damn.
Finally.
I feel like I'm sorry, Tyler fans. I let you down. But I think this is the right call.
Here, I'll put it to you this way.
Do you think Tyler would choose Marshall Mathers over Igor?
I think Tyler 100% out of 100, like, would literally be like, y'all are fucking insane. Like, he'd probably be mad. He's like, why'd y'all pick Igor? Shit, pick my rapping records. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the thing that I think makes this exercise hard, but also so fun, is the fact that Igor is a record that I want to listen to more in 2025.
Yeah.
I don't put on Marshall Mathers LP anymore,
right.
Which is like, I don't know if that's because I'm just aging.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's also because, like, to me at this point, Tyler makes more accessible music. And I don't mean that from a pop context. I mean that from, like, how many days do I wake up wanting to hear fucking Eminem yell at me about how fucking hard his life is? Jeez, like, you know what I'm saying? Versus like Tyler, I'm just like, hey, yo, I'll hear you talking about all the, you know, the straight boys that you're falling in love with who don't want to look at you. Like, yeah, that sounds fucking interesting. Hell yeah.
All right. I'm kind of mad.
Come on.
You got your first win of the season, though.
Whoa. Should really be my second because last episode was stolen from me, but it's fine.
Let's recap the list, though. So going into the season finale for the Royal Rumble at the end, we're doing Twisted Fantasy, Kanye.
Yep.
Lemonade, Beyonce. Marshall Mathers, LP. So that's a pretty good.
I'm feeling really good about this, actually. Yeah. Like when we think about the most important artists, but also projects of the 21st century, I could point to each of those artists where I'm like, you need a Kanye record, you need a Beyonce record, you need an Eminem record. If we did this exercise in another 25 years, I'm sure Tyler's going to have an album. Right. Yeah. Like Igor with more time also, I think this is going to end up being the album that's going to be the newest album that made our list.
Yeah.
That's also the thing. Enough time hasn't passed for those songs to have really wormed their way into the public consciousness. Like, Eminem is etched on fucking Mount Rushmore at this point.
Yeah. Should we tease next week? It's our first pivot away from the typical last song standing, even dissect sphere of our genres, our typical taste.
I don't even think we should tease it. I think because it's a pivot, maybe we like let them know
so they can listen
so they can like listen to them and like get a little bit more acquainted, because I think both of these might be the oldest albums that we've picked outside of Marshall Mathers.
Yeah. So I'm going with arguably my favorite album of all time. Do you know this about me? Radiohead's Kid A.
Over To Pimp a Butterfly.
They're neck and neck.
Over Blonde.
It's those three are my
So I am picking one of the most important records of all time. This was my entry point into just like loving electronic music. As I think it was for many people. I'm going with Daft Punk's Discovery.
Hell yeah. That's gonna be Daft Punk versus Radiohead
it's actually, this is what I'm excited about. That's why I want to kind of like give people some time to be like, yo, like spend a week, put them both on.
Especially Discovery. Prepping for the episode,
I was driving around. I was like,
it sounds so good. It's so good.
All right, as always, thank you to everybody who makes this show possible. Thank you to Justin. Also, big shout out to Chris. Chris, people don't know, we've been rocking here back to back for 3 days, getting these episodes together.
Yep.
And my man Chris has been fucking, just helping
boards,
us behind
yeah.
the boards. Do you want to say anything, Chris?
Nope.
No? You don't want him to say anything?
He,
Shit, thank you to Justin Sayles because,
I like saying stuff.
You love saying stuff. And last but certainly not least, Kevo, he's not here. He's here over Zoom, but not in the room. But I always feel Kevo's presence whenever we do this.
All right, I'll see you next week.
See you next week, man. All right, it's time for our favorite part of Last Song Standing, now Last Album Standing, cultural exchange. The previous episode was you gave me Lord Melodrama, I gave you Future's Monster. And for this episode, I gave you
Usher's Confessions once again.
And you gave me Solange's A Seat at the Table. Who should go first?
Well, I'm interested to hear you because you're a little bit rough on Solange. I don't remember if you remember last week. You kind of disregarded the album. So after returning to it, what'd you think?
All right. It is rare that I will do this on a mic, but I'm not always right. I'm often an asshole and dismissive.
Yes.
In ways that, add to the lore of my work here. My what would you call, we don't have a word for your, like there's filmography, there's discography. Podography, yeah, I was wrong. This is a beautiful album. This is a perfect album.
I thought you would like this out. Like, it was surprising that your initial take.
Actually, want to know what I realized? Not only do I love this album, I played this album so much when I was in New York that when I put it back on, like, you want to know when it all crystallized for me, how much, like, I fell into my chair and I was like, oh, this is perfect. It's the Lil Wayne song.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, it just,
it's really good. It's a great, you talk about Solange as an auteur herself.
Great producer, great,
visionary, putting the whole thing, the visuals, everything.
Visuals for this album, I remember just like,
but to your point, she uses Lil Wayne perfect. We've never heard Wayne in that context.
I remember feeling this way when I listened to it. I remember feeling this way now where I was like, I wish Lil Wayne, the back half of his career was this song, was more like this moment. And I'm not talking about I'm talking more about Wayne. To me, Wayne and Eminem are kind of similar in that way, where they crystallize in amber at the time that they popped off.
Yeah.
Like mixtape Wayne, the A Milli shit, the ringtone rap, not ringtone, the punchlines, all of that, similar to Eminem, where it's this was a song where Solange is
pulled something out.
You're pulling something out that's always been there in Wayne, but as he's gotten more famous, has retreated. Cranes in the Sky is a perfect song.
That's fucking perfect.
If we were doing a last song standing for the 21st century,
100%.
This would be top 10.
Yeah.
It might be top 5. When I went back, I was like, this is one of the most beautiful, ornate, just levels to this shit. Thank you for making me listen to I fell in love with this album. This was great. Actually listening to this, I was like, it's going to be, in my opinion, hard to beat this record in terms of the one that I'm going to pick to take into
the finale.
I think Royal Rumble.
There's a strong case that we should have put it as a proper album in
yes. But I think you want to know where I think that this album, the reason maybe why we did not pick it is that yesterday we were talking about two artists that we made a late stage decision where I was just it was hard for me to envision this project without picking those two artists.
Right.
So I was just Solange, close, but not there.
Yeah.
Now Usher's Confessions.
Okay.
Second time
through. It's really, I remember giving it positive reviews last time when you assigned it to me, and my thoughts really haven't changed. It's when I put it on, it's something that I would just never, ever put on myself. Just
What do you have against soul and dancing?
But when I hear it,
something in your gut.
But when I hear it, like when I hear a song, what's the song that I texted you? I was like, this one's it's Caught Up. When I hear Caught Up.
And the feeling it, caught up. I'm losing control. This girl's got a hold on me. I love Caught Up.
The run of Confessions Part 2, Burn, and Caught Up is like
it's the
objectively
I think it's the
good.
3 best run, like the 3-song run of just like, oh, this motherfucker put his foot to that shit, bro. Let it burn.
What I have a hard time reconciling. Okay, and also I said it last time. Let me just say, Yeah is one of my most despised songs.
Why?
Whatever. I mean, the synth, the little John annoying sample. Something about that song rubs me in a way that I never want to hear that song again. But I mostly want to hear your take on why this. I get why you like it personally, but why do you think it deserves a spot in the Royal Rumble as a representative album of the 21st century? Seriously, do you think it could be that or should be that? Or is it more just like, this is my personal favorite?
Oh, no. If this was like my own personal exercise, this would be this would be top 5. This would be actually, I think this is undoubtedly one of the greatest albums of the 21st century. I think the reason that I paired it with our episode and I gave it to you after Lemonade is because to me, Lemonade, it's of that same lineage where an artist takes an event and just blows it up on a massive scale. When you think about that moment in terms of like how many hit songs this produced, this is one of the best selling albums of all time. I would argue that we never kind of got back to this moment in R&B again, where this was the close of an era, where it's like if Michael Jackson is the peak of turning a black art form into something with mass appeal, Usher is the last, is of that lineage, and he's the last artist who could get there. To me, when I think of like albums that are important just in art, you cannot tell the story of the 21st century and black art without Confessions and what that meant. Like Confessions, Burn, Caught Up, My Boo, this entire era, Usher. And I think I also picked this album because it was what I was telling you about Lemonade. I think for a lot of black artists, especially when it's R&B, when it's about sex, when it's about black love, critically we tend to undermine that. But when a rock star does it, or when a country star, well, this is important. Why? Because we have more context in the United States for white love, because in movies, TV, or whatever, we're still breaking records where it's like, this is the first black artist to do this at the Grammys. This is the first black artist to do, like, Beyonce's still trying to get the respect she deserves at the Grammys. And I think for Usher's Confessions, if you look at it through a certain point, like, what this album means to people, like in the same way that people talk about like Fleetwood Mac's Rumors, is the same way I feel about Usher's Confessions.
Oh, really?
But like, why does Fleetwood Mac get it? And Usher doesn't, where it's like that Fleetwood Mac album is incredible. It's incredible, but it's doing the same thing. It's doing the same like front page headline news. We are making music about our life and gossip and turning it into the greatest thing. Usher's doing the same thing, but because he's a dancer and an entertainer and he's doing the chain shit and he's a performer, we just rock criticism dings you in the same way that they dinged Beyonce. So that is my biggest spiel on why I think Confessions is important.
That's a great case. You made a great case for it. hard to deny. All right. So what's next what are you giving me next week?
So, because Kid A is one of your most, is a seminal rock record for you, a seminal rock record for me. And I think I've already given this to you before, but when we were talking about this season, they almost made the list. Strokes is This It.
Okay.
I was living in New Jersey at the time. Obviously, this is coming in the shadow of everything that was happening with 9/11 and everything. And this was a record that got back to me. And this was part of that. This era in rock. I know a lot of people like turn their nose up at the Strokes and LCD Sound System. Yeah. But this is when I fell in love with rock music. I love this record.
Okay. Then let me pivot then, because I'll save the one I was going to give you today. I'll match your rock album with, are you a fan of The Killers?
The Killers.
In this same era, different stylistically.
We had a conversation about how their debut, the first half of that,
that's great,
is the most undeniable music ever.
The back half's rough.
Are you giving me that album, Hot Fuzz?
I see. Sam's Town to me is a more complete project from start to finish, but the highs are not as high as Hot Fuss.
Please give me Hot Fuss. I think we need to discuss Hot Fuss.
All right, let's do Hot Fuss, because culturally, 21st century, that's the album.
That's the album.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay.
I'm so excited. Hell yeah.